All right, there we go.
Yes, and what a lovely morning. Good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
We've talked the whole night through.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
And Chris is half awake.
Good morning.
Yep.
Good morning. It's great to stay up late. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Can't blame Sam.
Hush up, Sam. Gosh dang it.
What?
They were trying. You ruined the intro.
Did I?
Maybe it's
Did
a
I?
good thing that you're always late.
Or did I make it special for this one day?
Yeah, you made it special by showing up on time.
It's not the first time. You know, you miss one, you're late once, and then he forgets that he missed more shows than you did.
I am a professional. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Roast. And I am, of course, your host, Sugar Chris. And with me is the mouth from Great North, Mr. Sim.
Well, hello.
And today we have a new guest, Heroineburgh.
Hey, good morning from the Steel City.
So, for those who don't know, actually, I go to Steel City Con quite well, not as often. Well, I'm getting back into it. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for there. And Heroineburgh was was there, I think, at the first Steel City Con I was ever at. And I got to bump into them when I was wearing my Ya Boy Zach shirt. And that's when I first met them and learned about their work.
I remember you had a Splato T-shirt. That's right. That was back in 2017 when we started doing the cons.
Yeah, because that was before you had a book out. And
No, but we had the TV show. Yeah, and we were showing it in the main hall during the middle of the afternoon. I think maybe even at that particular con that you attended, we showed some episodes.
Yeah, because I remember that was, I think, my first ever con, and I was like, "Whoa, wow, wow!" And I was going through it, and I see like your booth, and there was some ladies all dressed up and everything, and I was like, "Wow!" I was just like, "Wow, this is awesome! Look at all this stuff."
Yep. Those are the actresses from the show.
So let me go through the chat real quick. Where is Judge Ion? There he is.
Yep.
Mr. Sheriff himself. He says, "Welcome to the Morning Roast, where following Steel City Con, we have a look at a Pittsburgh-based universe of what's that say? Epihumans?
Epihumans.
Yeah,
Heroines who shave their legs.
people have to make jokes. It's fine. Yeah. They do shave their legs, though. Yeah.
Good morning, Chris Sim, HB in chat.
Yeah. Most wear tights, so that's good. Yeah. Do you want me to explain what epihumans is?
You know what would be funny though? I just thought about it. Like, imagine like a superhero, right?
Yeah.
And she's like the ultimate Samson. If she shaves her body hair, she gets weak.
Okay.
So the more body hair she has,
Okay.
she's more powerful.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that could work for dudes also.
Yeah, I know, but it would be funnier for a chick.
It would, I guess so. Yeah. So they're making a joke off of Epilady. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I get it. I was just having fun with it too.
I didn't even know that was still a product. That's like such an old product. Okay. Yeah, the Epiladies, right? Okay. Yeah, the epihuman thing.
What was the Epiladies?
What?
What was the Epilady thing?
Oh, Epilady is an actual shaver.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember those old commercials. Yeah.
I know, super old, right? Like they would bring that up.
Yeah. It was like an old disco type of commercial. Like, yeah.
And that I got to give that person credit. That's Soul Ion. That was the first time someone's made a joke about that. So
Yeah, Soul is solid.
yeah, it's pretty solid. He reaches pretty deep into the past. So the epihuman thing is the idea of epigenetics, which is a concept that I can't believe nobody else has ever used in comics, but we did. So epigenetics is the ability to, on a small scale, will yourself to change genetically.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a real thing that happens on a very small scale with like cancer cells and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And
like so somebody can will the color of their eyes to change throughout time.
Well, maybe something like that too. Exactly. So if you just expand that concept on a larger scale, and the dark energy that explodes over Pittsburgh gives gives these ladies the powers to change their to change their physical makeup and give them powers, then they're likely to choose the things that reflect their personalities and their backgrounds. So yeah, that's the idea of epigenetics on a larger scale, and that was what Soul Ion was referring to. Yeah, I mean, yeah, just look up epigenetics. It has its own Wikipedia page and everything.
Wow. Yeah, that shows how uneducated I am.
No, it's
in
okay.
here
I
in the
kind of
sticks.
stumbled upon that by accident 5 years ago, and I was like, this is a perfect thing. I've never seen anybody use it, so we used it.
Let me see. Oh, Mike Jimmy's here.
Well, hello.
Yeah, Mike Jimmy's in here. Bristolian Dave's here. He says, "All right, me poppers." We got Creators Outlet.
Oh, Bristolian Dave.
Up, Will.
He sounds ready to go. Right and proper.
He says, wait, someone spoke to you when you were wearing a "Ya Boy" t-shirt and didn't just call you a bigot? That's right, yeah. I had a few people during that con recognize the shirt and was like, hey, hey, it's your boy. And they were nice to me. It was
Really?
a lot of fun. Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah, it
I
was
think we
pretty
even
cool.
already had the first Jawbreakers at the time that I saw you.
I think so.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, because I got that shirt from my Iron Sights charity campaign. So I know Iron Sights 1 was out at the time. What's Will saying? Creators Outlet says Chris is playing Jenga with comic book stacks. Yeah, I know. I need to get me a couple long boxes to put all this stuff in.
You do, yes. My room looks a little bit like that too.
Soul's sharing out the link to the website for Heroineburgh.
Yes, indeed.
Let's see.
As Teal'c would say.
And with that, I'm going to do something similar here and bring up the website. So this is a fancy. You've got it. It's very well done.
Yeah. Well, I have a friend who's an excellent web designer and 360 photographer. He designs 360 environments on the web for businesses. So yeah, he just put together a really nice presentation, and it's easy to find all the drop downs and everything you need. You can order the episodes from the video store, or order the comic book from the comic book drop down, or go to the comic shops page and find out where they're sold. And all of the art is all of this art on the website is pretty much created by Jason Wright, who worked with both Shane Davis and EVS, as well as many other artists and writers over the past 20 years, mostly at DC, but also a little bit at Marvel and Valiant. In fact, what did? Oh yeah, you're looking at the first page. So on the right, on the left there, that is Jason Wright's front cover of 4 of the heroines displaying their powers in front of some landmarks in Pittsburgh, the Cathedral of Learning. So we kind of place everything in a Pittsburgh context, and various actions in the series take place in recognizable areas of the city, like the university or downtown, or various neighborhoods. And so it's meant to be the TV show, which has 21 episodes, and the comic book, which has two issues, are both meant to take place in a fantastic universe of Pittsburgh, where all kinds of ladies have amazing superpowers, put on spandex, and either fight for good or for themselves. So that's what you're seeing. On the right is some art by. That's not the actual lettering that's in the book. That's like a prototypical lettering, but on the right you see the art by Benjamin Zeus Barnett, who's one of our 2 interior guys. And you can see he created there like a lab, a sophisticated mechanical engineering lab at Carnegie Mellon, where the super criminal Dysphoria is being restrained in, one of those big things that Reed Richards puts his enemies in and stuff like that, right? And then down below is Ex Machina, which is the mechanical engineer super heroine who is trying to figure out how to let this woman live in the real world without decaying everything she touches, because Dysphoria's power is that anything she touches turns to dust, and so she literally can't touch anything unless she's wearing these complicated nanotech gloves that that Ex Machina gives her. So whenever Dysphoria decides to do something, she has a kind of a flourish of taking off those gloves and then touching stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the hole will there'll be a hole in the wall or a hole in a bank safe, those kind of things. So she doesn't really keep her promise. She goes back to the dark side and uses those gloves to live in the world.
Yeah, it's too tempting.
Yeah, it was too tempting, and yeah, she's too alienated. That's kind of the reason I called her Dysphoria. It has nothing to do with gender at all. Dysphoria just means a general dis-ease with the world. And of course, if you can't touch anybody, then that would be a pretty big dis-ease. You'd have to find your jollies doing something else, and her jollies are crime.
I mean, human contact's a pretty important, part of life.
Right, exactly. So, I guess, she has some of the same problems that Rogue would, but even worse, because, Rogue doesn't, if Rogue touches somebody, she sucks their power. She doesn't make them decay into atomic particles.
They're not just like little dust on the ground.
Right, exactly. And then if it's organic flesh, it doesn't decay immediately. It just bubbles and splurts. It boils basically. So we have her killing a comic book employee from New Dimension Comics in episode 19. And then the other heroines say, "Oh, that's one of the worst sins of all. You killed a comic book employee,"
Yeah.
So
not the comic book man.
Yes, not the comic book man. Worst episode ever. So just below you can see the very nice pinup on the back of issue 1, drawn by Marcel Walker, who is one of the more well-known comic book artists in Pittsburgh. He's very well known around the region, and he has his own series of books. He works for the Pittsburgh Holocaust Center, and he does a series called Chutzpah, which is about the heroes of the Holocaust and how various people survived and saved others. And so he draws that and edits that. But here he is drawing his girlfriend, Kristen. And you can imagine my first assignment to him, he did a very good job at that. And Kristen is in the series, and she's an amazing, multi-talented person, an actress. She's a storyteller. She's a prop master at Carnegie Mellon for the drama department. Yeah, she's extremely accomplished in the worlds of performance and theater. And so she plays Jania there, which is the Arabic superwoman, and you can see how happy she is to fly on top of the point, right? Above the 3 rivers where the fountain is, and among the birds, right?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So how did all this get started?
So it got started because in 2016, this is the actual origin story. Okay, so you can talk about how I grew up in the 70s and 80s and saw tons of TV shows with beautiful superheroines and read comics. From Dial H for Hero to X-Men to New Teen Titans, George Perez, She-Hulk, John Byrne. You can talk about that, right? But then the real origin story was in 2016. I just decided on a whim to intern at the equipment office at Pittsburgh Filmmakers, which is a very important organization, which has since collapsed and closed, unfortunately. It's very sad that they disappeared because they've been around for over 40 years. But anyway, at the time, I was working in the equipment office, and I was watching various TV shows and noticing some superheroine videos that were online. And also, I watched a very great local theater show called Pittsburgh Batman, which was kind of a lowbrow Yinzer Pittsburgh take on the Batman mythos, right? So Batman would drive a beat-up jalopy, and he would go around eating hoagies, and he would throw exploding footballs at his enemies and use a lot of Pittsburgh slang. And so all of those things started me on a path to creating my own universe. And while I was sitting there at the desk accruing many, many volunteer hours, I decided to write scripts. And near the end of that summer, we taped our very first episode in the third floor of Pittsburgh Filmmakers. Episode 1, which stars Sabrina there, who you can see at the top of that page that you're showing right now. That's Sabrina in her civilian form. We did episode 1 entirely in one day. Took about 6 hours on a Tuesday in the third floor of Pittsburgh Filmmakers. So then what was interesting was, of course, that since I had amassed a bunch of volunteer hours, I had a free membership for a year at Pittsburgh Filmmakers. So I was working at the equipment office, and so I got to borrow equipment, which is what Pittsburgh Filmmakers was all about, letting filmmakers do their thing. And I started off with Panasonic digital cameras and then graduated pretty soon to the Canon DSLRs, which is what I'm still using today. Eventually, I just bought 2 off of eBay at $400 a piece. And really, like if you want to make your own TV shows and you know how to do Adobe Premiere and After Effects, right? You can put together a whole package for under $1,200 between lights and cameras, and then just make episodes of whatever you want, right? Nobody's stopping anyone from making their own TV show any more than they are from making their own comic, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, $1,200, that's very affordable.
Yeah, I think you can make a TV show. You know, I mean, obviously there's other expenses. You have to pay actresses. You have to create costumes. You may have to rent locations. So overall, what we do, the TV show, you know, it runs at a loss, but the losses aren't huge. There may be a few, you know, that I lose maybe a few $100 an episode. So I just save up and make sure that every 3 or 4 months I have enough money to finish it. And there we go. We're off to the races. So yeah, you know, if people complain about the TV shows and movies that they see, make your own, just like you do with comics.
That's right.
We did that first. We did the TV show route first because I was just really excited to use these cameras that I had access to for free for a while, and you know, get people in spandex and do some fighting, you know, and write real plots. You know, I like to call Heroineburgh. It is adventure, drama, comedy, and romance, all in the finest spandex and capes. So we never lose our campy nature. If people like Batman 66 and Wonder Woman 77 and Electro Woman and Dyna Girl, they'll like what we do. More recent people have compared it to Power Rangers, or you know, even like maybe Black Scorpion. That's fine. Anything from the 70s through the 90s that you know, had lovely ladies fighting crime, that works quite nicely. And there's, you know, some TV shows today that we're still influenced by. So, like I said, now we're on our 21st episode that came out. Yeah, that is comic book number 1. So there's 2 ways to get it. You can either just click on, it's a one-click process. If you go down a little further, you see that there's a click button. Boom, there it is. $9.99. Shipping paid in the States, $19.99, of course, because shipping is murder, most foul. It, you know, overseas, and that is what it is. We have a bunch of quite a lot of fans overseas, especially in places like I'm going to say Hong Kong, Japan. A couple of our really biggest fans live in France, so it's very possible to. I mean, the downloads are the same wherever you go, right? Because there's no shipping. But yeah, it's really easy to just click on the thing. You don't have to wait for a crowdfund campaign to be done 6 months down the road. You just click on it and there it is. And there's another way to get the comics too, which is if you go to where it says comic and click on where it says comic stores, there's a pretty amazing list there of over 175 shops in alphabetical order.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Exactly. And chances are a few of them are near where somebody lives. I think we have, you know, we're probably in 25, 26 states by now. And, you know, if we're not near you and you'd like us to call a store, that's how we deal. We don't use Diamond. We didn't use crowdfunding. We just go direct to the stores and ask them if they'd like the book. And I'd say about 40% of them say yes. So it's been a very successful percentage. It's a lot better than telemarketing, you know, a Ron Popeil product or something. And yeah, we've been able to appeal to a wide range of people across the country and get a lot of these comic book guys and gals who own these stores personally involved in the book. We do as much as we can, given that obviously the comic book is not well known, and the only way people would really know about it is if they watch the YouTube channel or follow us on social media, right? So if it's outside the Pittsburgh area, the best way to get promotion for the book is to do three things. We have Jason Wright sign some of the copies for free, and then that increases the value a little bit. And we send color 11 by 17 posters that somebody can put on their wall and in their window. Takes up a lot less space than those Marvel posters that you see everywhere. And so there's always room for them. And then if people want, and this is something interesting, we have Heroineburgh thumb drives, and we can put 2 or 3 episodes on a drive and mail it to the comic book shop along with their order, and they can play it if they have a TV thing in their shop, or like a little network or closed circuit TV. They can play it in their shop, and some comic shops are too literary to immerse people in television, and I understand that. But then there are about 35 or 40 that have accepted the thumb drives, and I'm assuming a lot of them are playing it. So there's another way to see the full length episodes other than ordering them directly from the site, and that is go to one of those stores and ask the store owner to play them on their television, and so we have a little network that way.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty cool idea. Like being able to
already
do.
have, yeah.
Like,
I mean, we already have
run
the
ads in
episodes,
shops. Yeah,
and we're not losing any money whatsoever by putting them on a thumb drive and making sure people have the ability to see them on a TV. Because if some random customer said, "Hey, what's that? It looks like some Power Rangers thing," and then the owner of the store says, "Oh, that's Heroineburgh from Pittsburgh, and here's their comics. Want to try them out?" And then you get a comic book, sometimes signed by Jason. You get a free sticker inside of every single one. We have all our character stickers in the books that Jason makes, and we try to add as much value as we can, given that the comic books are printed on demand, right? We can't print in huge quantities. We can't make thousands at a time. The way we avoid having to depend on crowdfunding or any other long-term funding source is by printing them in small batches, maybe 100 at a time, right? And everything in Heroineburgh is made in Pittsburgh. So all of the episodes are filmed in Pittsburgh. The actresses, the costumes, everything was done here. And the same is true with the comics. So far, we haven't had a single artist from outside Pittsburgh. They've all, the cover, the back cover, the interiors, they've all been from Pittsburgh. And so just like all of those things, the printer that we use is located right across the river from me. And he's called PGH Print Ship, and he's in Etna, PA, right across the river. And whenever we need a box of more books, I say, "Hey, Josh, can you print me another 100? We have a con coming up, or we have a bunch of orders for these stores," and he does it, right? It's not as cheap as making them on an offset press or doing newsprint like Peter Simeti does. Yeah. But Peter Simeti never kicked the ball off with his distro, so we decided to go direct to stores, and since our comic books cost a little over $3 a piece to make. Given that they're done in small quantities, that's just the level of pricing that they end up in stores. They end up at cons for $5 because we can afford to do that, right? We want to unload, right? And they end up in stores for $7 usually, or $8, because the as you know, the comic shop needs to do a 50-50 deal.
Yeah, they got to get stuff out of it.
If they order less and just order small packs instead of large ones, that's fine. We, in fact, offer packs that are as small as 3 issues a piece, basically a starter pack. So if a store just wants to order 6 books initially, they can do that, and that's no problem. There are other creators who don't want to bother sending books to a store unless they get at least 20. We don't do that. It's fine to have 3 a piece for each issue to start with, and then see how people like it. This is issue number 2. On the left is Jason Wright showcasing 4 of our lovely heroines, 2 of which fly and 2 of which are on the ground there.
I do like how you've tried to keep the actresses, the likenesses all accurate.
Well, the portrayal of each heroine starts out with the video. So we like to try to make sure that at least the initial actress who played the part gets reflected in the depiction of them in the comic book, and actually all 4 of these actresses are still with us, which is great. So yeah, you can actually see what the real actresses really look like, kind of a stylized, idealized version of them, and that's fine because this is comic books. And Jason does an amazing job. Usually he's a colorist, right? He colors Metal Men or Green Lantern or Batgirl. But here he shows you how good he is with the female form and with coloring his own stuff. And yeah, Jason's an amazing artist. He's also a very prolific painter. He just had an art show in Pittsburgh. So if you're interested in finding out more about Jason, he's rather low key, but he does have a website. He's not on Twitter. He has a website, jasonstjohnwright.com. That's his middle name, I guess, St. John. So yeah, Jason, STJOHNWRIGHT.com. You can go there and see all of his lovely paintings. On the right, you see an action scene where Savannah and Panthira are duking it out. They're sibling rivals. One's good, one's evil. And that was a sequence done by Ben. Takes place in a local neighborhood where the sisters confront each other on the street. And the evil one, Panthira, is quite jealous of the success of her goody two-shoes sibling. And so, basically a catfight ensues, as they do, right? Yeah. I mean, they're both cat-powered, so that's just what it is. In this particular case, there's a kitty cat on her shoulder right there. So I like how Jason put that cat up there. That heroine is called Savannah, and she's kind of a composite of. I mean, if you think about how iconic, Julie Newmar and Eartha Kitt were with Catwoman, just like that was for many people that was kind of the start of, liking superheroines. I mean, come on, right? So if you're my age, so it's kind of an adaptation of the 1960s Catwomen, and also things like Cheetah and Tigra and Vixen and all those things. Yeah, and then right below that, you can see another great pinup, a back cover pinup of Poderosa, who is kind of like a cross between Power Girl and Lois Lane. And that is also done by Marcel Walker, who did the back cover on the first issue. And that is played by our friend Christina, who is a lovely singer in a local band as well. She has unbelievably great tastes in costumes for her lead singer band persona. I would call her a kind of a cross between Debbie Harry and Chrissy Hind. So, and she always has this like amazing 80s rocker hair, as you see. Like she never tones that down. It's always big and beautiful, and just like, really, like she would step on stage and just start singing Pat Benatar songs, right? So,
right.
So that's really how her character is portrayed in the series. Just kind of bold and brash and kind of snarky. And she's one of our 2 most powerful heroines, as she is kind of like a Supergirl, Power Girl character, but she has her profession is a TV reporter. So when she gets her superpowers, the TV station promotes her to being the official superheroine of the station. So they give her a huge raise, right? And enough to take care of her kids and have a security apartment and all those things. We talk about that in her origin episode 12. And then, she goes off and starts leading the Superheroine League, or co-leading it along with her friend Freya. And Yeah, so so she'll be, one of the two major powered heroines who leads the league. And in episode 19, we finally find out that she has a weakness, and you're going to have to download episode 19 to find out. It is something that has never been used before, ever in comics, and it's totally PG-13. So get your mind out of the gutter. But yes, no, it is a weakness that nobody has ever exploited, and I'm very surprised nobody has, because scientifically it's right there for the taking. So yeah, you'll have to download episode 19 to figure out how how Poderosa gets momentarily subdued by one of the villainesses. But she'll have to be more careful in the future not to let that secret get out, right?
Yeah, gotta protect your weaknesses.
You have to, yeah, and it's a very, very interesting one.
When I first seen all this, your Heroineburgh stuff, the first thing I thought of was I had a comic. It was one issue of it called Femforce.
Exactly. So, oh yeah, I don't. Femforce is basically what we do. So obviously Femforce is from the 80s, and we have although we have 70s and 80s style drawn characters, we have a few updated touches here and there, but nothing that puts us on any side of the political spectrum. We're right in the center. But as far as Femforce, yes. So Femforce is also one of the books that I used to read in the 80s, and I stopped collecting comics for a good 2.5 decades. But when I got back into it, one of the things that I really enjoyed was catching up on the fact that Femforce is still around and nearly approaching their 200th issue. AC Comics, run by Mark Heike and the creator of Femforce, Bill Black. They're still around. You can go to the Facebook page. There's a Facebook group, AC Comics Femforce Facebook group. You can just join, and then you can find out all the updates of what Femforce and their related books are doing now. Bill and Mark are still distributing through Diamond. So they have a distro. Now, they never got a lot of the recognition they should have. Their book remained fairly obscure, but Bill knows how much we admire his. Because basically Femforce was the first all-female team. It had the classic, what you call 80s good girl art, right? This was before bad girl art. The characters were bright, cheerful, well developed, but not overly so.
Right.
And the stories could get intense, right? But there wasn't a sort of grimdark laid over everything. And there's nothing wrong with grimdark. Lady Death takes place in hell a lot of the times. But Femforce took place in Orlando, right? I mean, what more? Orlando, the home of Disney World. Like, what is more cheerful, or I don't know, corporately sinister maybe, than Orlando, right? So we're basically like Femforce, but we take place in a fantastic version of Pittsburgh instead of a fantastic version of Orlando. And I very much admire Bill. He is still one of the reasons I started making the videos is because Bill made a very long series of movies about his characters. His movie production company is called Night Vale Media, which is named after his magician character, Night Vale. She's kind of like his Zatanna, right? Mm-hmm. And so over the years, he's made a ton of movies. And a couple years ago, I thought he had ended his movie production because he did a Scarlet Scorpion movie where the Scarlet Scorpion character was passed from a man to a woman. And believe me, this was quite a good way of doing it. But it turns out Bill got some surgery, and he's feeling really good. Bill just finished producing a new movie. He produced a movie with the main character She-Cat, which is like his version of Catwoman. And She-Cat is fighting mummies. I guess that's the evil mummy invaders in a temple or something like that. I don't know, but he told me he had to do over 600, 700 shots for this movie.
Wow.
yeah, that's a lot of stuff he had to do. But apparently he finished it in like a month in Orlando. And yeah, so there are still movies coming out by Mr. Bill Black to this day. And not only are we influenced by his movies over time, but I don't know if you know about this. Another Orlando luminary who is known across the world by everyone, and you can really kind of see how Poderosa looks in this back cover pinup, right? Looks kind of similar to George Perez, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So we are very influenced by George Perez. New Teen Titans was the very first book I read for like 50 issues in a row, and Judas Contract was the first story I finished, and and discovering, when I was young, discovering characters like Raven, Wonder Girl, and Starfire, that was kind of a revelation, obviously. And so later on in the early and mid 2000s, George Perez started making superhero movies. You can find them on the net. They are on a website called sisterhoodofsuperheroines.com. They're part of a larger wrestling site that he runs. He does a female wrestling site, and the offshoot of it is Sisterhood of Superheroines. These are fully realized stories with quite voluptuous characters, as it were. They're models from the Florida area and California and otherwise, and they act out his stories. And so between Sisterhood of Superheroines and the Bill Black Night Vale Media stuff and several other things I was seeing on the net, between 2014 and 2016, that was kind of the reason I got the idea to create something that was specifically Pittsburgh oriented. We're not going to use a fake town. We're not going to use Metropolis or Gotham. We're going to have everything refer to the actual city, and Pittsburgh is going to be its own character in the series. The comparison I like to make, have you ever watched Miraculous Ladybug, which is a really, really good modern superhero cartoon?
Is that like based in like France?
It's French, but it's animated. It's a French-Korean co-production.
Okay, yeah, I've seen that one.
It's probably one of the best superhero cartoons of the past 10 years, and they're in their third season. But in any case, it all takes place in Paris, and there's tons and tons of characters that have to do with Paris, and Paris is basically a character in the story, right? You see them fighting around the Eiffel Tower, or the villain is stealing a painting from the Louvre, all those things. And I wanted to do the same thing with Pittsburgh, make it a character in the series. I think we have succeeded in that.
Yeah, I've heard people talk about that. I've seen one episode, that Ladybug one.
I'm very surprised that the kind of people who are looking for innovation and kind of let's say non-biased approaches in comics, I'm very surprised that, for example, they haven't talked about several of the IPs that we're really into. I know people like Invincible, and that's great, but Miraculous Ladybug is definitely one of those that you can just watch it and you get action, you get morals for the kids, you get really colorful costumes, great spandex, you get magic. It's a combination between superhero and magical girl. So anime people will enjoy it as much as people who used to watch X-Men, the animated series. So yeah, and the other one that's just a comic series, which I'm very surprised people don't talk about more, is Empowered. Adam Warren has been making Empowered for the past 15 years at Dark Horse, very quietly. He's never been canceled or attacked. He does whatever he wants, and his approach is just amazing, especially when he does his own art. When he starts hiring other people, I think some of them water down the characters because they're just not as, let's say, as cute.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Empowered is also on the web right now. He's releasing pages. Regularly.
Exactly. So it's to enjoy Empowered, which is a really good parody on superheroes in general. Just a really, it's called a sexy superhero comedy, except when it isn't, right? So to enjoy it, you can go to your local store, and buy the manga-sized TPBs, or you can just go to the Empowered website. In any case, yeah, it's those kinds of things that inspire us to do these kinds of characters. And yeah, I have no problem talking about other things that inspire us besides our own thing as well, because I really like to especially people who want to enjoy things that are fairly non-biased, right? You want to have as many options as possible to entertain you and not be stuck with, just backing $60 crowdfunding books, which is certainly a good thing to do. You can do other things too, right? You can,
Yeah.
right. So,
Yeah.
and we highly, support crowdfunding. And I don't know what we're going to do about Kickstarter now. This is a big dilemma. It looks like a total mess, but
Yeah, I just seen that there on
Yeah.
Twitter that they're talking about people getting blocked by a Kickstarter person.
Yep. I'm not.
I'm blocked. I don't even know him.
Yeah,
Are you
I'm
officially
not.
blocked, or you just can't see the tweets? You see it's protected.
Oh, it says it's blocked.
Oh, okay, yeah. I didn't get a block yet. I just got these tweets are protected because I think the woman who blocked everybody, then she went protected as well. But in any case, yeah, it's kind of unlikely I'm going to do much. It's a real big shame because certainly I enjoyed backing Lady Death. I enjoyed backing Fire Bitch from Karen Nicole and books like that. But
I backed Liam Sharp there. There was Simon Bisley. There's a
Liam
few
Sharp.
people there.
Oh yeah, definitely. What's another one? Ron Zabala, Patriotica. That was one of the first. That was probably one of the first comics I ever backed. Right around the time we started Heroineburgh, I backed his first issue. But yeah, it looks like it's Indiegogo for us now. So go get that She Omnibus.
Yeah, did you see that FemForce had a Indiegogo like a good while back?
Sorry,
Yeah.
Soldier said like Sims Blood Hunt 2 isn't coming to Kickstarter. No.
Well, it still might. It just won't be Sim that puts it on there.
Sim will post it by proxy. It'll be a Munchausen by proxy comic book.
He's making a joke reference to the fact that there's been some Indiegogo campaign that's been copied by somebody, by people illegally on Kickstarter.
People made mirror sites, like
Yeah.
fake mirror sites, right? Yeah. What was your question there? You asked about FemForce. Yeah. I actually backed one FemForce campaign, but what it was the ability to buy 50 back issues for a really low price. It was something.
Oh,
insane.
was it?
And that was when I really stocked up on my back issues. I got a number 2 out of that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no number 1s. I mean, those are probably worth several $100s, but I got a number 2 issue of FemForce from 84 or whatever it was in that stack. And so Bill Black really fulfilled it nicely. And I sent him a T-shirt, and he wore the Heroineburgh T-shirt in several photos on the set of She-Cat while he was filming that. So it was pretty nice of him to do that. Yeah, like he's such a nice guy. Obviously he's getting up there, but what an industrious individual, just like promulgating his own world for like 40 years. It's amazing.
To do it for so long and to still be doing it and to have such
just
a drive.
To have a loyal fan base of people that will pay hundreds of dollars for like a Mark Heike FemForce sketch, or they will fly down to Orlando to help him hold a camera or a boom mic. It's quite impressive. And so we're starting to get a little bit of that as well. I don't think anyone's flying here yet, but we have fans who have requested signed photos of the actresses, and that is not an item you can order. So I said, okay, you need to buy the comics or buy a T-shirt. So these fans have bought comics or T-shirts, and then I have included a signed photo of Gardenia or Arctica, and we have another thing that we're doing now, which kind of in a way harkens back to the Perez and Black video styles, which is we have several requests for custom videos, fan-written Heroineburgh adventures. And if the person pays up front and the script is approved by the actresses and everything stays within our usual PG-13 boundaries, we have no problem doing that. And in fact, last week we completed and filmed our very first custom. Now these can be kind of short. Obviously, your fans don't have the ability to write like a 40-page script like I do. So they write a 5-page script, and it turns out to be about 7-8 minutes long. And so we produced the first custom. a couple weeks ago, and tonight we're doing the second one. As long as it's the kind of thing we can do within several hours, and like I said, the actresses approve all the text, and it stays within the boundaries, and we're allowed to sell them. We're not doing any private stuff, you can own the video. That's not happening. So custom number 2 is going to be filmed tonight, and custom number 3 is in the pipeline for next month. So while we're on hold a little bit with episode 20, we can fill in and get some products out there for the shorter custom videos, and we can get more products out, on our webpage, right?
Mhm.
What you're going to see is where it says video store on the webpage, right? Oh, here you go. So these are the actual episode summaries, and these are some of the trailers that you can play if you want to. That's a trailer for episodes 11 through 13. Poderosa's flying through the air. But we're going to have a new drop-down item on the video store. You see where it says video store? And it's going to say season 1 and season 2. We're going to have a third page that says fan customs. And then people are going to be able to order the customs that the fans created. And I know you're probably asking, are these fan customs canon? And the answer is not necessarily. They don't have to be, but we reserve the right to make parts of them canon if necessary, right?
Mhm.
So obviously, just because a heroine is defeated in the custom doesn't mean, or a villainess is in jail in the custom doesn't necessarily mean that they are in the actual wider universe. So, but we'll see how that goes. Once we have 2 customs finished by next week, we're going to launch those 2 on the new page.
It could be like an alternate universe. Earth 2.
Right, exactly. It's an Elseworlds type thing. These fans get to see within obvious PG-13 limitations. They get to see the heroines or the villains undergo the kind of adventures they like. And here's something. I'll give you an example. So the third custom, which we are going to do next month if it gets paid for, is a classic 1970s plot where the super villainess takes 2 of the heroines and eventually uses an immobilizing spray to turn them into statues and puts them in her museum collection, right? And that sounds like something directly out of Wonder Woman or Electro Woman and Dyna Girl, right? Doesn't it? Like it's a very 1970s type plot, like cheesy and campy. And I'm like, that's great.
I love camp.
I never even thought of doing that, but it's like so great. So so that's the kind of thing, within reason that we're fine with doing. So customs will be our new one of our new pursuits, and we'll see how that goes.
Now, I do have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Since you do a question, what if somebody was doing an Indiegogo campaign and they were like, "Hey, could you do a, I don't know, like 3-minute little clip for their comic? Like the girls dress up maybe as the characters or something and do like a trailer."
So you're talking about the girls dressing up as other people's heroines, people's heroines?
Like maybe somebody hires you to do like a trailer for one of their book.
This has already happened. So thanks for asking.
Oh, really?
Because I forgot to talk about it. So I don't know if you can find the picture of Scintilla. Go to the video store, the second season.
Uh-huh.
I want you specifically to find Scintilla, who has the black costume that looks like Catwoman. Keep going down. She's got to be there somewhere. Oh, there she is. Okay, so you saw the one on the right there. Oh, it keeps changing. I'm sorry. That's just how we are there. But it'll go back in a minute, I think. There she is again on the right. That's Scintilla, right? So she's kind of our Catwoman type character, and she wears the black spandex and the wig, and there she is again, and she has a pink logo and pink gloves and go-go boots. So that is played by the lovely and amazing Alicia Lin, who's probably one of our most enthusiastic actresses, and she gets everything we do She's a huge fan of Julie Newmar and Eartha Kitt, and she literally channels that when she acts. She's also a burlesquer and a go-go dancer and a stilt walker, and so she's very much a performer. She also dances for a local band, a local goth industrial band, so she's connected to that scene.
Oh wow.
And, yeah. And she goes around the region like doing various gigs, right?
She keeps herself pretty busy, it sounds like.
She does. So originally she was just Scintilla, but a year ago, Ted Sikora from Hero Tomorrow Comics in Cleveland encountered her at Steel City Con. This was before the coup.
Oh, the guy who's doing, what's it called, Bloom?
He's doing Bloom, and he hired her to be Bloom. She is the cosplayer model for Regina on the Bloom comics, right?
Oh, okay.
So Bloom is Ted's fourth character, right? He's got the big pugilist Punchline, right? No relation to the other one. He's got Punchline, he's got Tap Dance Killer, he's got Apama, and now he has Regina under Bloom, right? And she plays Bloom in all of his publicity, and so it was brilliant that we have a crossover with Ted. We don't. Maybe eventually we'll have some kind of live action crossover between the Cleveland and Pittsburgh universes. But so that's not all for Alicia. Alicia now. I hooked up Alicia with a superheroine video series produced out of New York called Ultra Heroics. Okay. And this is a low-budget series that's been going on for a long time. They film inside Brooklyn brownstones and on top of roofs and stuff like that. And these are kind of peril videos, but they stay within the PG-13 boundaries, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the producer of that, who we shall call Da Jinx, that's the name he goes under on the internet. I know his real name. He's a family man. He has 2 kids and a wife. The Jinx asked us if we would ask Alicia if she's interested, and I said, "You betcha, I'm sure she is." So we hooked them up together, and Alicia's gonna go up probably in about a month or 2 to New York and do a couple of videos for him. I know she really wanted to do kind of a either like a Catwoman character for him or some sort of a Lieutenant Uhura type thing, because she's really into Nichelle Nichols. But in any case, I think she might also be doing some sort of Spider-Gwen thing, a character he has called Ghost something. I think that might be Spider-Gwen. Anyway, so Alicia's crossing over between lots of universes, and if we had the opportunity, we also crossed over with 4 different superheroine video series. In episode 13, we had 4 different series send us cameos for the episode, and then in episode 15 we had an Italian guy send us a superheroine from his series which is filmed in Rome. So I would have no problem crossing over with other universes. And if somebody wanted to hire us to do, to have our actresses play other characters and I think that's great. It would be something similar to what that guy I did for Arachnia. You know the Arachnia campaign?
I think I might have looked at it, but I don't remember it.
It's like a very peril fraught Spider Woman parody, basically. You haven't seen Arachnia? People should back that. Mm-hmm. The art is by Carlos Granda from Colombia. And he's the one who did the Geek Girl comic book series, which is really good. And Carlos hits it out of the park. In any case, the guy who produced Arachnia hired a New York actress to actually play the live action part, even though it's just a comic book, right? Mm-hmm. She got so into it that she's done a whole bunch of promos for him, and we would have no problem doing the same thing. If somebody wanted to approach us at info@heroineburgh.com, whether it's for a custom or to hire ladies to play their characters, sure. I mean, I think the more business and the more expression that we spread into the world, the better. And we have a lot of talented ladies here. Vendetta, Arctica, Fiona, a lot of these actresses, they would be very good at doing other people's characters with with a little bit of rehearsal. So yeah, they're very expressive. Yeah, the girl who plays Jania too, Kristen, right there. A lot of them are really good at this, so why not?
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. I thought I'd ask that because that's what it popped into my head, that would be kind of maybe cool if somebody had something that would work, with it and everything.
Yeah, we're happy to continue Alicia's journey or other actresses' journeys and do something like that.
Let me check the chat. I haven't paid attention to it for a long while, and I seen somebody that I got to point out. Dunko Ziffa
What
says,
are people saying? What are people saying?
He's saying, as long as Blood Hunt 2 comes to me, everything is fine. Hello, everyone. So there you go, Sim. Your number one fan is here.
What's up? Sorry.
Sim, do you have any questions there? Something from a Canadian perspective. Are you in fact from Quebec or?
Yeah, I'm from Quebec, born and
very
raised.
cool. We have a big supporter up there. The guy that used to buy comics for Studio 9, which was a comic store in Rosemont in Montreal, but it closed. But we keep in touch with that guy. He's really nice. Anyway, yeah. And any perspectives from the north about what we're doing here? We don't have any. We don't have any francophones actually in the series. Although in episode 19 we wound up having characters speak I think 5 languages, and there was some subtitles, but yeah, none of it was French though. I'm sorry.
No problem there.
Yeah.
No. The only question I would have is, did you ever hear about Heroes of the North? That kind of that little web
Oh
series kind
yeah!
of
Oh
reminds
my
me of it.
God! Oh yeah! Heroes of the North. That was hugely influential on us. And
I worked on it.
What? Oh, you
I worked
did?
on it. Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, some of those ladies were just amazing.
Yeah, I know.
What's the name of the girl that played the Hornet character? Oh.
Bourbonnais.
Bourbonnais.
Bourbonnais, yeah, she's
Bourbonnais.
French Canadian, yeah.
Right.
Yep.
No. I mean, believe me, back in 2016, I looked some of those people up. I watched. I'm okay. So, I guess I neglected to mention that, but I watched every one of those short episodes, like every one. And so, when we have a character like Arctica, for example, there's definitely a little bit of Nordica in it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, my God, those. How much did they spend on those costumes? They were so high.
Oh, they did. Yeah, they had special deals. They put a lot of money in there, and it's very sad that they got canceled.
Yeah, that guy just disappeared from the face of the earth, and he hasn't been seen for like 4 or 5 years. What happened?
Movie Seal. He owns a comic book shop right now.
He does.
There was some issues, and they were doing cons and getting all the feminists after them for a while.
Oh, because Heroes in the North, the feminists were pursuing Heroes of the North for being too sexy.
Yep.
Yeah. Luckily, we haven't gotten a ton of that. Just a little here and there. I don't know.
And the fact that the people making their costume was a latex company that was doing also lingerie.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
our costumes are spandex, not latex. So, and we even. We put in all the publicity, spandex and capes. So if you don't know that it's about spandex and capes, you're not paying attention, right? You know. But yeah, there's no. I mean, Scintilla has a latex look costume, but we don't have any latex stuff. And yeah, I think that guy went over the top with his costumes a bit, but he wanted the effect. So I don't know if you remember.
I don't know if you remember at the end of I think the last season, they were introducing new characters.
They were introducing so many that I was surprised.
Well, I'm the one that did the comic book intro of Jackpot.
Jackpot, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. What was their Oh man.
I was supposed to be like doing Black Terror after, but they got canceled.
There was a heroine for every province. That was fun. Yep. Acadia, Fleur de Lis. Yeah, I just loved it. It was really great. So what is the name of the comic shop this guy owns currently?
Hold on a second. Let me check. I hold
Might
on.
as well get in touch with him and tell him how much we loved his stuff. Maybe I can get some of his old comics if he's still
But
print.
he goes by Movie Seal, if people remember on Twitter and stuff like that.
Movie Seal. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, yes, I'm very familiar with Heroes of the North. So thanks for bringing that up. Really one of the best independently produced superhero TV shows of the past 10 years. Just totally done indie, like with no.
Yeah. It
no-
won
no
some
shit
awards for
given
best.
to anybody. I'm sorry.
It won awards for best YouTube's web series.
I mean, it should. They spent a lot more money than I could. Good for him.
There's a Dave Bristolian. Dave said, "Damn, website looks sick."
Thank you. That's all. My webmaster Andy and my cover artist Jason Wright, frequent DC Comics colorist and freelancer. If you want to see Jason Wright's newest work, if you back Starlight Cats, you will see it.
Okay, I found it. It's called Librairie Z. Z. You know,
It's what?
Library Z bookstore.
Library Z. Okay.
If you ever want to, reach out to him. Yeah,
I definitely want to. No question.
He's the co-owner over there. There's two owners.
I would love to congratulate him.
I've been friends with him for a long time, so.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. And this is in Montreal, right?
Yep.
Okay. Very nice. Yes. I like a lot of things about Montreal, not necessarily some of the bias, shall we say, but I don't know. I have a lot of, despite whatever they're into, I have a lot of Godspeed albums. So.
Yeah, there's just I don't think there's that much difference between here and on your side.
Yeah.
Let's see here. We got El Gargo with us. He pops in with his eggplant emoji.
Eggplants are crucial.
Let's see. Mike Jimmy says it's incredible that you managed to set this up in reference to
Thanks.
your work.
That's nice. Again, we're no heroes of the North, but
Marinus is saying he's watching from the silence from work. Can't hear anything. Going to watch the replay later. Oh, well, that sucks, Marinus.
he works in a very loud factory where they make widgets from the 19th century.
He works in a dungeon underneath his house.
Okay, in a pineapple under the sea.
Soul is going link. He's going link hard. He's going hard with his links. He's popping links for Heroineburgh, the Sisterhood of Superheroes.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah, okay, sure. Go ahead and check out George Perez's TV show. He hasn't done it for a while, but he did come back and he did some renewal episodes a little while ago, but they were more like kind of wrestling type stuff. And there's our YouTube, and there he spelled it in the French way, Heroineburgh. Right? Like Serge Gain. That's the episode that we had scored by Serge Gainsbourg.
Apparently Soul's a fan of Arctica.
Arctica is a nice one. She is one of our most enthusiastic actresses. She has a background in improv comedy and theater, so she's pretty much up for any kind of stuff. And I don't know who met us up at Terrificon, but Arctica and her boyfriend Mike, in real life that is, they went up with us to Connecticut, and we had an amazing time at Terrificon. Meeting Graham Nolan, who got stuck in an elevator for a little bit, meeting Billy Tucci, getting stuff signed by Paul Miotti and Connor, briefly seeing Donnie Cates for like 2 seconds, because I guess he was not at his table most of the time. God forbid he should, but there were so many, there was Al Milgram, there was a ton of really great stars there. Terrificon is a con that I would recommend above most others because it's so oriented towards comic book creators. They have like probably 20 big names there, and you don't see that at a whole lot of other mid-level or conventions. And the guy who puts it together, Mitch Halleck, he just does a really good job. I don't know how it's so well planned, but I wouldn't recommend gambling at the Mohegan Sun Casino because you're going to lose a lot of money quickly. But if you want to donate to the Mohegan tribe, go ahead, but just don't mess with their their tribal police force because they're serious, right? They have their own police force. But
Wow.
I was really happy with Terrificon. I would definitely go back. Connecticut was super welcoming. We go to cons all the time. Since cons started up again, Marvin from The Edge, you're familiar with that, Chris, right? Marvin and I have been to 6 different cons since May, and we're going to 6 more by the end of the year.
Awesome.
Almost every single one has 1 or 2 heroines coming with us, or attending on different days. So that should be pretty interesting. By Thanksgiving weekend, we'll be going as far as Boston. We're going to a con that's outside of Boston called Northeast Con for Thanksgiving weekend, and 2 of our actresses, Vaporia and Stellara, who is actually filming her custom tonight, they're coming with us. So that's going to be pretty fun. It's a 3-day hotel with a pool and 3 days of New England charm. So that should be fun and interesting. I want to see how the Eastern Massachusetts crowd, accept us. We have several stores that sell our books up there, and so just want to check it out and to have some fun. So,
Hey, Chris,
What?
did you see Dunkel Ziffer's reply to being #1 fan? I thought that
No.
was hilarious.
No, what's it say here? Chris, fan is not entirely correct. Soul would never admit it. Last Wednesday, after a few beers, he said something about a Blood Hunt 2 tattoo in a very special place. I did that.
And then read Soul's reply.
okay, well, get your mind out of the gutter again.
And Chuck was if I only let you have those beers because I think you can handle them. Besides,
They're freaking hilarious.
What a trip. Bristow Dave said, you're doing this the right way. I think every creator should be looking at getting their own websites and selling through there.
Sure. So we mod on a bunch of channels, as you know, Chris, right? You know,
Mhm.
Billy Tucci's channel and Critical Blast and Katapano and Joe Sontag, a few other people, right?
Yeah.
But wait, are we getting an echo now?
I hear one. Yeah.
Yeah, it started all of a sudden.
Uh-oh. How are we going to fix this?
That's new.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so we mod on all those channels, and what I've noticed is, some people have really good developed websites. Some creators do, right? And that's important. You don't just want to have a crowdfund campaign that goes up, stays in demand, and then closes and disappears. You want to have a fully developed website. The first thing you should do as a creator, not just a Facebook or a Twitter, but a fully developed website at which people can order your stuff. Billy Tucci has one of those. And if they go to his site, for example, they can click on a bunch of, exclusive covers for She and get them mailed, within a couple weeks. And same is true for us, especially since we have to have, our videos are pay downloads. They're half-hour live action comic books. But yeah, I would encourage everybody, the first thing you got to do if you're a creator and you're serious is make a comprehensive and good-looking website. So if it costs a little money, bite the bullet, because it's one of the things people are going to be seeing the most when they search for you online. Heroineburgh, for example, there's nothing else, despite, whatever implications the name has otherwise, there's nothing else that is that's named that anywhere in the world. So the moment you, if you spell it correctly, the moment you do, everything on the Google search is us, right? So make sure you also have a unique name. Don't call it something really generic like Power People or something that has like a million different things. Look hard, think about it carefully. And for example, there's never been most of our heroines have unique names, right? One way to check for names is to go to Comic Vine. There used to be a thing called Comic Book DB, but remember how it disappeared?
Mm-hmm.
It was bought out by ABC and it was wiped out.
Oh, of
When
course.
we started Heroineburgh, I was constantly using Comic Book DB to make sure that our names were original, right? There's never been another Arctica. There's never been a Gardenia or a Poderosa. There's been Vendettas, but not any big ones.
Yeah.
So you can do the same thing now. The only place you can find this is Comic Vine. Go to Comic Vine and then search for your character or search for your concept. Make sure it's not already taken. It's real easy. It only takes a few seconds. And if it isn't, then you have a unique URL that you can exploit and make a good website off.
Yeah. I mean, making sure it's unique so that way it shows up easier in searches is a good idea.
Right.
Let's see. Let me check. Still saying coming soon. Heroineburgh Red Dress Edition. No, Soul. We're not doing red dresses customs here. Hey, Sam. Welcome back.
Was it?
Uh,
Nothing happened.
Pale Rider arrives, and he's apparently announcing the Red Dress OnlyFans page. Good luck with that. 'Cause it's not happening.
Especially since OnlyFans just, you know what they just did, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, so, but we're not OnlyFans by any means. Everything's PG-13, so.
But
Yeah.
I wonder if what's happening on over there. It's a result of a lot of those YouTubers that went to protest. Hold on, there was a lot of. I'm going to try and stay vague but on point. Underage people on there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And there was a whole bunch of
OnlyFans-
YouTubers that decided to open up OnlyFans page, and they were parodying or like trapping, like not trapping, but like, come see sexual stuff, and they were just making parody, stupid stuff, and
well,
to get them noticed.
the claim is that OnlyFans did a really terrible job policing themselves, and I can believe
Yep.
that. I mean, the guy who owns it is from the Ukraine. I don't know how many good things come from the Ukraine that are less than unsavory, shall we say. And I'm not impinging every single Ukrainian in existence, but have you ever seen a Ukrainian guy in the movies who isn't just trying to sell you weapons or something?
Yeah, they don't have a stellar reputation.
Yeah. So
De la Carte Noire. No, nobody gets that joke. Family Guy?
Drakkar Noir.
Yeah, remember that episode of Family Guy when they go travel in Ukraine, and
No, I don't remember it, but
and the girls disappear, and all they heard on the phone was De la Carte Noire.
oh, so it's kind of a parody on
Yeah.
trafficking. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's it's kind of a Wild West situation in some of those places, but anyway, yeah, I actually read up a little on that guy, and he has the Ukrainian guy that owns most of OnlyFans. He has kind of a really long, unsavory history going back to the mid '90s. So I'm not surprised, that happened at all.
Let me see here. We got Love Pigeon with us. Caw-caw. Hello, sir.
Or coo, coo, coo. The pigeon.
Love Pigeon.
There's actually a pigeon in the Miraculous Ladybug. So,
Oh, yeah?
and he makes that cooing sound. Yeah, yeah. He's kind of a wimp. He's kind of a wimp, but he's a pigeon. So whatever.
Yeah, you can't expect a lot out of him. Does he poop on things?
You would think that would be his power, but no. I think he just controls birds, like pigeons attack.
Yeah. Pale Rider says, "Hey Chris, go full screen and smile. I need a pic for the OnlyFans page." No. Gosh, dang it, Pale Rider.
Yeah.
Jai Cage says, "What about your IP, Rider? Do we need permission to tattoo that?" Quit. I'm not Pale Rider's IP. Get it through y'all's head. Let's see. Love Pigeon says Squarespace has been his platform of choice for his book. We have operated our website as a pre-order platform for the physical since start and offer limited editions, then go to IGG for trade production.
I agree. Squarespace is one of the good ideas. In fact, Marvin uses Square to sell his books at cons. So I kind of just glom on him and use his I'm sorry, never mind. He doesn't use Square. Never mind. I keep forgetting. He uses a PayPal slider, and actually, so Square is a thing that you can use, and I've seen people use it. But actually, Marvin uses PayPal, and so do I. Everything we do on the Heroineburgh site goes through our PayPal account. So we just straight up use PayPal. But Square there's nothing wrong with Square. It has a little thing that you can slide stuff and sell things, and it's good. Yeah, as long as you have a solid merchandising mechanism, then you're set.
Yeah, because when you build yourself your website, you can easily go on your own PayPal, create yourself a sell button.
That's right. That's what we did.
Which is a little code you can go place with an image on your website, and when people click to it, it brings them to PayPal to pay for that.
We have click and sell buttons for all of our products on the website. So there's the heroines. Those are all drawn by Jason, except for a couple near the bottom, which he never got to draw. But almost all of them are drawn by him, and you can see his classic '80s style.
Mm-hmm.
That's Darbuka on the left. She's going to be doing our custom tonight with Stellara, so we'll have some fun doing that. She's going to be using that drum. In fact, she uses the drum to channel her sound waves because it gives her a kind of a conduit. But she has recently discovered that she can do it without the drum as well and just use her hands. So we'll see what happens. The topic of the custom in part is the drum gets taken away, and can she rebound when she no longer has the drum to use to channel her powers? Well, yeah, that's pretty much what she looks like right there.
Let's see. I've seen something here. Souls asking you, Sim, how about your own French website?
I did have some people from Quebec and France asking me to maybe do a CG, like a French YouTube show for talking about CG.
Oh, well, actually, I have a question, Sim. I don't know if you've seen this. So earlier this year, a really good French superhero film came out, like really good, on the level of kind of like The Boys meets Powers. It's kind of ultra-violent, but it also has a police procedural in it, right? And one of the main characters is a police captain. It's called How I Became a Superhero. It's entirely in French, and I would recommend highly. It's one of the best superhero films to come out in the past few years. Obviously, it takes influences here and there from Marvel and DC and stuff, but it's very straight ahead. It doesn't have bias or lean crazily in any direction, and it's just it's solid. It feels like a long TV show episode, really, but still, it seems like something that could become a TV show very easily if it had the funding behind it. It's called How I Became a Superhero.
I'm checking it up right now.
There's a very nice heroine in it with a mask. I forget her name right now. She has some vaguely French name. Are you getting something for that? I just think it's fun because he asked about that.
Oh, I'm checking it right now. Like right now, it says Pio Mara, Vimala. I don't know the name you're looking
Callista, that's it. Her name is the girl, the female superhero in the trio, which is in the trio of superheroines, is called Callista. Yeah, which is actually also a name in Powers. So that's what I was thinking. They might have ripped off Powers a little bit. Have you ever seen the Powers TV show?
Yep. You
have? Okay, yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I used to read the comic.
Right, yeah. Powers is one of our big influences too. When I got back into comics, Bendis. That's probably Bendis's best stuff, really. And
it's like I really liked the original Wanted, not the movie as much, but Wanted was a bit similar. It was a whole bunch of superheroes and supervillains.
Right.
Well,
exactly.
Wanted, they made it different. It's everybody shares one power, like it's the Force. Well, the actual movie, the actual story of the comic of Wanted, it was the supervillains beat the good guys and took over the goddamn world.
Right. So that's interesting.
Watch it with the sound off.
This probably an English translation.
I think people, if people have a chance and they can find it, they should, because it's really hard to find now. They should check out the 2 seasons of the Powers TV show. Because it's kind of a predecessor to some of the indie shows we're seeing now. And it sank like a stone because what the hell, it was on PlayStation or Crackle or some bullshit, so nobody watched it.
Yeah, I don't know if I've even heard of it.
Yeah, it's there, 2 seasons.
Love Pigeon says he uses PayPal at conventions.
As you should.
And Hex is with us. Hey Hex, how you doing, sir? Hope you're doing all right.
Hey Hex.
Let's see. Check. Hey, Vasan is with us. He says, I opened the stream and there's a red dress on the screen. Yeah, and it has nothing to do with me, so we're good.
Okay. Where's the red dress?
Yeah, don't have anything to do with me this time, so I don't gotta worry about it. They aren't gonna start crap about red dresses today.
Well, Vendetta's in red. There you go.
Yeah, that's a cat suit, though. That's not a dress. So, obviously we have no problem with costumes which involve dresses and skirts and stuff. Gardenia right next there, she has a mini skirt. So.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few of these ladies since I've been to the cons.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
in person.
We try to have our actresses come to every event whenever possible.
I think. Let me think. I think the first one I went to had a lady in chainmail, like a chainmail top.
That was Teo. She was our assistant, our con assistant. Yeah. We're working on getting a character together for her, which is kind of like a Red Sonja parody, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, she has to be comfortable with filming right now. She's not really comfortable with the filming, but yeah, eventually she could be a supervillain, a kind of a chaotic, evil Dungeons and Dragons style thing, where she is Red Sonja. I have a name for that actually. We were going to call her Kurgana the Barbarian, which is a reference to the Kurgan from Highlander, because Kurgans are mounds, are ancient burial mounds that were created by the Indo-Europeans on the steppes, like on the steppes of Asia 3,000 years ago. So I thought, having her channel like an ancient Amazon warrior, in the modern day, that would be a fun way to do it. But we'll see. I mean, she has to be willing to film. So
yeah, you gotta kind of ease her into it, I guess.
Yeah, she had her own chainmail too, so that was kind of easy. I bought a chainmail shirt, which we were going to try, but it's so friggin' heavy that nobody can wear it. So I think that I don't think that's going to work. I might just have to resell that.
Yeah, that chainmail can get quite hefty to walk around in.
What you really need is fake chainmail. You need it to be all made of aluminum, and then it'll be fun.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the point of cosplay, is or cost making, as it were.
You okay?
Any more questions?
I heard some voices. I was making sure it's just my brother out there. Oh crap! Yeah, hold on a second. Sim, take over.
Okay. I like the one in the middle. I like that little shade of red in her hair.
Yeah, her red wig. Yeah, well, I mean, she has an all black costume otherwise, so we got to give her something that will cause her head to pop, a little bit. That is Arcana, Mistress of the Shadows, kind of our goth heroine. She has the power to make shadows tangible, and also to turn invisible. So if are you familiar with the villainess from DC, Shadow Thief?
Nope.
Female one?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Well, she was she was a villainess who appeared, I think, in Iron Man and Hawkman and stuff like that. Oh, she's there's a version of Shadow Thief that is now appearing in the Supergirl TV show under the name Akrata, which is very similar to Arcana, actually, but that was just a coincidence. Anyway, yeah, kind of a shadow-powered figure. I don't know. You could also say that she harkens all the way back to things like Phantom Lady from from the Legion. So
Or you remember Silhouette from what was it? Young Warriors, New Warriors,
yeah,
New
sure,
Warriors.
exactly, stuff like that. Yeah.
hmm She could shadow melt and stuff like that, even though she had crutches.
Mm,
Okay.
exactly.
Welcome back, Chris.
Yeah.
Everything's
So,
all right.
yeah, I got something in the mail here.
You got
Okay.
mail.
Are we unboxing now?
Yeah, I'll show you here.
Okay, fine with me.
Make sure the addresses, I guess, are covered here. Yeah, I got this.
Oh, from Tim.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't remember backing anything from Tim offhand.
You didn't back Cayman something? Cayman America or
I
something?
don't think so. The box is nice though.
I have
Nice
that box.
box.
Yeah, we have issues
Yeah.
number 1 and 2. I have that box. Saving it for a special occasion or
What did
something.
I back? I don't know what this is.
But open it and you'll find out.
I think you must have backed Common America. You just didn't remember it.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it's a good book.
Or maybe you backed a book where they had the crossover with it. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
But open it, you'll find out.
Right, how do you get this thing open here? All right, wait a minute. I thought it was that. Maybe not. I'll figure it out.
Okay.
Oops.
What are they saying there? I see Pale Rider saying D&D with a question mark. He must have heard D&D and got excited.
Yeah, don't get too excited. Our universe is entirely science based, so if she's going to become a Red Sonja style barbarian, it'll be for genetic and scientific reasons, not magical ones. Just to be clear.
Man, I can't wait till Sunday when I can play some more of that D&D with Irene and them.
You enjoying yourself?
Yes, I'm very excited for that. That's so much fun. I'm really enjoying making my character sheet.
Oh, you have an ongoing game?
Is the character sheet
Yeah.
done? You didn't start playing yet?
No, we haven't started actually playing yet. I've only I still got to pick spells yet, they said, and then my sheet's done.
Speaking of that, we had a meeting about 3 months ago with some kids in the suburbs of Pittsburgh, and they proposed to us the idea of making a board game for Heroineburgh similar to Warhammer.
Oh, really?
And so yeah, I met with them at Heroes Inc., which is the McKees Rocks comic book shop, and they gave us a proposal and we approved it. And yeah, I haven't heard back from them in 3 months, so I don't know if they dropped the idea or if they're kind of too busy. But yeah, these kids wanted to do a board game for us, so we'll see if it ever happens. I don't know.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah,
So,
kind of a
like-
scenario, kind of a combat scenario type of game. And yeah,
that's
they
actually
even
cool.
asked us to give them like 7 or 8 characters to begin the process, and so I did, and I gave them the abilities and the strengths and the weaknesses. And yeah,
Let me see here. We got that's what it is. Okay. Yeah, okay, now I know what I backed. That explains it. I didn't know this was part of the Iconic Comics, label thing. It's Long Harbor. Long Harbor. That Mirabelle. Is that his name? Alejandro Mirabelle, I think.
oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't know this was coming out. Like I've been waiting on that one for a long while.
Well, there you go.
Glad to see it.
Nothing to do with Common America.
Better late than never.
It also came with a little print thing, or no, like a little like print thing with some contact. Oh, a coupon. Yeah, there's a coupon for their website. That's a good idea.
Iconic Comics is a really good name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mr. Lim does everything right. Like, I hope he gets on a lot more billboards.
Oh no, Dunko Zipper. He's leaving us. He says, unfortunately, I have to say goodbye again, even if briefly it was nice as always. See you soon, everyone. So don't be afraid. A tattoo like this heals quickly.
Cool.
Well, see you later, Dunko Zipper. All right.
All right.
And let's see. Pale Riders tell me you're playing Pathfinder, Chris. Good at straight hooker. Yeah. Well, I mean, everybody. When I say D&D, people, it's easier for them to understand, right?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Why would they know?
Yeah, but it's like you're playing a kid version of D&D.
What?
Now I'm joking.
No way. No. This is for adults.
Yeah, it is, but it's less complicated. It's like D&D for dummies.
Let's see. Soul says, "Wow, Long Harbor is finally out. That had a long waiting time." Yeah, I know. Vossen says Tim Lim is a monster. He doesn't ship internationally. He stopped around Space Force, and I've been jonesing ever since. Oh, that sucks.
Right.
I didn't know he didn't ship international. That sucks.
Not good for Scandinavia.
And people are unfortunately missing out. Yeah. I've heard a lot of good stuff about his work.
Well, we do ship internationally. I think we might lose on that $20 deal, but it's fine. I haven't had that many, requests. I have had a few, right? So, yeah, I'll send you two comics for $20 to anywhere in the world, I guess. It's not quite as worthwhile to send books to Canada or overseas comic shops, though. At first, we tried to do that, and the mail to Canada was just like really expensive. So I'm thinking, every now and then I'll add a Canadian store, but I won't add a ton of them because it's just going to be too expensive.
Yeah.
Sending books to New Zealand, Australia, and Israel was just monstrous, but we did it once, It's tough.
Yeah, I just had to send I just sent Russ. I just sent Russ over in the UK a comic, and it cost me like $30 in shipping.
There you go. Yeah. So at $20, we probably would lose on the deal, but hey, that's what I set, so that's what I'm gonna do.
I was like, dang, didn't realize. Let's see. Boston says Oh wait, I already read that one. What am I doing? Woodrow says D&D for Dummies is 5e. I like it because it takes 2 seconds to make things, but it's not as crunchy as 3.5/Pathfinder. Okay. Thank you, Woodrow. That's what I've heard. I've heard 5e is pretty like dumbed down and stuff. Vossen says Doug Ernst is on Iconic as well, but you can ask Doug personally to sell you one.
Cool. I'm glad Doug is doing good with his book.
Yeah, I've heard people say good things about his book as well.
I asked him once if he would let us send him a copy, but he didn't. He didn't want me to send it to the newspaper office because he doesn't work there. So,
oh,
no, he works from home. He doesn't work in the newspaper office, even though he writes for them in DC. So,
okay.
I was kind of stymied. I would have liked to send in a book just to see what he thought, but
get his opinion.
Yeah. I mean, he's one of the very early, comic skeptic channel guys. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember the old days of the comic book YouTube stuff.
Right at the beginning, there was him and Englentine and Captain Cummings and a couple others, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know, Unknown Chevron or whatever.
Unranked.
Unranked Chevron. I think he disappeared. Yeah. But
was it Nerd Wonder? You had Frugal.
Oh, Frugal's still around. Frugal likes us a lot.
Is he?
Yeah. We have 2 reviews on his channel, and
oh, awesome!
Just a really nice guy, family man.
Yeah, I think I've watched a couple of his videos. He seemed like a nice.
So that photo is Benjamin Zeus Barnett, who is, as you can see, well endowed. He is what he calls himself a fit goth. In other words, he's a goth who lifts, right? Mm-hmm. And so he plays in the superhero series. He plays one of the 2 main villains, the evil detective Drake, who tries to band together the villains to fight the heroines. And he is also our interior artist. So how that happened is one day during episode 7, Ben was in a goth club scene for Heroineburgh, and we got to talking, and I realized that he was an artist, and then we decided to put together a comic. So that's how issue 1 kind of rose out of us talking about it. And yeah, it's really issue number 1 of Heroineburgh is really one of Ben's first ever like complete kind of comic book works. You know,
Oh,
like
really?
he's done stuff before. I mean, I don't think it's his first ever comic, but kind of, you know, as far as one that's gotten out there a lot, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
one
he
of the
serves-
highest profile ones, right?
He serves a dual function as a live action character and our interior artist. So, you know, Marvin serves a dual function too. He's our second camera guy and one of the villains, one of the more minor villains.
That's like what was that? Who was that talking to? Oh yeah, the haunted. When I was down there at the Steel City Con, I was talking to the woman there at the haunted mansion.
Haunted
setup.
Acres.
Yeah, and that's kind of like what she was saying was about how like, you know, she's an actor, but she's also this, and then like when they bring somebody in, they might start out as only this, but then they start learning how to do this and this and this and this because they have to, you know, learn all these different skills and stuff.
Was that by that woman you talked to? Was that by any chance the one with the green skin and purple hair?
No, she had
No?
dark hair.
Oh, okay.
She had dark hair, I think. Yeah,
Oh, okay. All right.
because she was.
There was an actress there by the name of Shauna who looks like we're going to be bringing on board eventually. Who played an original? She played an original Pittsburgh character, Zombicia, which sounds a lot like a Heroineburgh name. It's Zombicia, right? So it's like Morticia, but Zombicia.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I was like, "Are you Gamora? Are you She-Hulk?" And she was like, "No, I'm Zombicia, the original character of this zombie entertainment company called Just Buried Productions." And so, yeah, I mean, we're the only people making superheroes in Pittsburgh, thankfully, but there are probably a 10 or a dozen companies making zombie movies at any given time.
Wow.
Or things that call themselves Massacre at this or Bloodbath at that. It's a very Pittsburgh thing to do horror movies, and that's great. You know, it's a vibrant scene.
Let's just say the horror scene is bigger than people think.
Oh, it's way
It's
bigger
everywhere.
than people think. Yeah. I mean, so many people are doing it DIY.
Mhm.
That's why I'm surprised we don't see more DIY superhero things. But the DIY horror thing is just everywhere, man.
But most theaters right now just want to deal with blockbusters type of movie. They don't play in indie as much as they used to. Like, you know, that's where Star Wars came from.
Well, I mean, but these are so small that this is basically the whole thing of it's a local production, right? Done well, though it's a local production, and they rent a local theater for 2 Saturdays to just show it twice, right? So, for example, one of our actresses who plays Industria in episode 18, she's the main heroine in a horror film called Massacre Academy. You know, they're all called that at some point, right? But and Massacre Academy is having 2 showings on I think on Sundays, maybe on the 29th and the following Sunday at the Hollywood Theater in Pittsburgh. So we're going to go check her out in that. But yeah, you basically have to do the same thing that we did when we started Heroineburgh. We did a bunch of theater rentals to show the movies, show the episodes to local crowds. And that's really the only way you can do it. You have to pay the movie theater $300-400, whatever. And, you know, then they keep the popcorn concessions. And, you know, you set up your merch in the lobby and make a Facebook event and then hope that people show up, right? So the same thing's true for horror movies. I just think with horror movies, there's probably more of a groundswell, especially with one that has like 20 or 25 characters in it, right? I mean, everybody gets to invite their friends, you know, drench themselves with blood, whatever it is.
Yeah. Sounds like it would be a fun time for everybody.
Yeah, I'll have to report back and see how Massacre Academy is. We're going to go see that in a couple weeks.
Yeah, sounds warm and cuddly.
Yeah. All right. There's a couple more of our villains, actually. Dark Spectra and Indara. Dark Spectra doesn't have a drawing yet because she actually evolved. this happens, right? Like a Pokemon, she evolved into darkness from her original good guy form, which was kind of on the fence. She was always scheming behind the scenes. So one day she just in episode 18, she figures out a way to increase her power 100-fold, and she gets that new costume. Anybody recognize what that costume is based off of? Come on, man! Come on, man! I'm no Biden.
Yes.
Come on, man.
Rainbow Bright.
That is the old. Nope, that's the old Halo from Batman and the Outsiders. But there is no Halo anymore in comics, and in Young Justice, she became a whole different character with a whole different name and everything like that. So this is an old Halo costume which we repurposed. We added a bunch of accessories and extra boots and jewelry and a different wig. And so, yeah, so now she's called Dark Spectra. And the one on the right is Indara, and she's also kind of a duplicitous character. She is a villain from Spain who moves to Pittsburgh to escape the authorities in Spain. And she pretends to be a superhero. She joins the League and pretends to be a superhero. But all the while, she is secretly stealing money to send back to her terrorist group in Spain. Because, and this is unique also, I don't think there's ever been a heroine of this nature either. She is Basque. Sim, you know what that is?
Yeah.
She is the very first Basque heroine ever. There has never been one before.
She's somewhere. She's like Canales, but with boobs.
Yeah. She's like a Canales book with a cat suit, right? And she even sports the traditional Basque logo, which is like a 4-leaf clover. It's called Lauburu, and it's like a 4-leaf clover turned on its side, and you can see that it's very rounded because it has some resemblance to a certain thing, right? A certain folk symbol, which has been misused, shall we say, right? And so we made sure that the Lauburu was very rounded and looked more like a 4-leaf clover, so it wouldn't get mistaken for one of those things.
Yeah.
Obviously, but yeah, that's literally on the flag of the Basque nationalists. So yeah, so right now this actress who plays it actually is from Spain, and she has Basque ancestry, it was not a requirement, but the reason why I made the character is basically based it around this woman who I've known for decades. I've known her for decades, and I said, hey, I'll make a character based around your heritage and your Spanish accent, and yeah, she was totally into it. So yes, it was.
So you have Vincent Cassie in the chat going, the one on the right is 4chan. Basque logo is the same as 4chan logo?
No.
Well, like he said, he changed it a little bit. He rounded up the images.
No. It's another logo which is very folkish. If it's too angled, right, it looks too folkish. So we made sure to use the version that is very rounded and looks more like an Irish 4-leaf clover. But yeah, it's just the Basque logo from an ancient Basque symbol. So yeah, I don't think Vincent Cassie. I don't think he got it. He'll figure it out.
Okay, and then is this a younger one?
Yes, this is our only regular teenage character. She is Scintilla's sidekick. She's her niece, and of course, because her niece, we have to call her Denise. She is her niece, Denise, and one day she discovers Scintilla's true identity and blackmails her aunt into becoming part of the villainous group. Auntie, I want to do this. I want to do this. So she lets her do some stuff on the side and do some hacking and do some planning of crimes. She doesn't get sent into the field because that would be dangerous for the teen. But we have some good scenes where she actually gets her aunt in lots of trouble in episode 19 because she's a prankster basically, and she kind of she's a little bit greedy, and then she learns her lesson. So overall, this is played by Anna, whose dad is a big fan of our series, and her dad just said, hey, Anna wants to do something, and so I created an entire character for Anna to play, and Anna has been at conventions and also in the episodes, and in a comic book number 4, she will also appear as the character. So she's not in the comics yet, but So this is the only character design that was not done by Jason. This was done by a Detroit artist that her dad hired for a surprisingly low amount of money, but that's fine with me. To create the design, and it looks really good. And as you can see, if you find a picture of Peccadilla, that's the name of the character, the little sinner, Peccadilla. If you find a picture of her, on the YouTubes or whatever, you can see it's very close. And Anna just designed her entire costume. She is a brilliant cosplayer. She's really into anime. So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right. And we keep it PG-13, so there's no issues with having a teenage character. We don't have a lot of them. We just have one, but it's fun.
We got more of the looks like the henchmen here.
Those are some old from henchmen from previous episodes. Yeah, I didn't really follow up on those guys too much, since they were defeated. But I put them on the villain page near the bottom. The Irish mob and the we have lots of mobs. We have an Irish mob in one episode, a Serbian mob in another one, and an Italian mob in a third one. Because those are all things that really happened in Pittsburgh. So we figured we'll go with the ethnicities who really had mobs here. Who really had single families. And because Vendetta, for example, she's like her backstory is kind of similar to Huntress in that she is a mafia princess who goes against the mob, and rescues her dad, who was a former mafia boss. So yeah, we do a little bit of that, and we set those scenes in like the Irish neighborhood or the Italian neighborhood in Pittsburgh. And it's just fun stuff to do. You got to have criminals that wear tam o' shanters, not just ones that are in spandex. Blimey, call blimey, I'm gonna punch you. I don't know, whatever. I'm doing a really bad Cockney. They're not really Cockney, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So a little levity with the characters.
Let's see. The chat saying Chris has a niece sidekick too. Yeah. Not right now. I don't, unfortunately.
Does your niece appear on the channel?
Not maybe against her will, I guess.
Okay.
She might appear in the background from occasion.
But her name is not Denise, though.
No. She's not here with me now. She's back home. She's coming back, I think, tomorrow for a couple days, and then she's back home for like school and all that stuff. So,
alrighty.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, it's turning into a roommate more than a niece now.
She never leaves.
Well, guys, should I, Chris and Sim, should I give you guys some of our socials and stuff like that? Are we wrapping up near 1 or so?
Oh yeah, we'll be closing up soon.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. Just wondering. Here's more villains.
Since we passed the 1 hour and a half.
Yeah.
We're just letting you explain the characters.
Oh, well, that's cool. Here's more villains. 2 of these appeared in our latest episodes. Dinah, who is kind of a super-powered henchwoman who takes steroids to get her powers, so she doesn't get them from the meteorites like the other ones do. And then that third one that one in the middle is Pagliaccia. What I wanted to do was kind of make a combination of Joker, Scarecrow, and Harley Quinn. And basically she has fear powers like Scarecrow, right? She kind of has the same kind of a maniacal attitude as Joker, and she has a costume which is somewhat like Harley Quinn, right?
And she's named after the inspiration for the Joker, Pagliacci.
Pagliacci, right? So she is a female. She is the ultimate female clown. So in the episode where we do her origin, we literally have Pavarotti going on in the background, where he's singing the Pagliaccia aria, right? And we have a poster of him on the wall in the background there as she acquires her evil powers, and she becomes the clown princess of fear. So you can see how those 3 elements kind of combine. Yes, Pagliaccia has never been done, and I thought it was so obvious. It might remind you a little of also Marionette and Mime from the Doomsday Clock. Remember them?
Oh yeah.
Murderous clown figures, right? Exactly. So so yeah, I was just really into the idea of creating that. And our current actress, Ferris, who plays the part, she did an amazing job. And yeah, there'll be more Adventures of Pagliaccia in episode 20. And on the right is a character which we are currently going to be looking for a new actress for, and I'm going to tell you why. Because in order to get Indian superheroes, you have to flyer the universities, right? You have to flyer the engineering departments and tech departments at universities. That's how you hire Indian actresses, right? There's no other way to do it because they're not on actress websites. They're not really on. So we found Arogia the healer and Kali Yuga the destroyer by flyering very heavily flyering Carnegie Mellon and Pitt, right? And the actress Nupur, she graduated and moved to New York, and she played Arogia for several episodes. And this actress, Anna, she graduated Carnegie Mellon and moved to Texas for a financial services job. So this is what I'm going to be doing. In the fall, I'm going to be going back to Carnegie Mellon and Pitt. I have 100 posters here with pull tabs, right? You know the posters with the pull tabs? Like contact info. And I'm just going to plaster the hell, and we're going to find a second Kali Yuga the Destroyer. And that's how we'll get her back in the series. Because like I said, the first actress went to school, graduated, left town. She did an amazing job. She was totally inexperienced with any kind of real acting, but she put everything into the character, and I was just like blown away between her, her dedication and her accent, which was very cute. She made a big impression and very menacing too, right? Because the power of Kali Yuga Destroyer is just anything she blasts, she just destroys the hell out of it, right? She had in episode 15 where we have her origin. She can't get a job at Carnegie Mellon because there's a scientist who keeps gatekeeping her, and she's very mad at him, right? And so she wants to take revenge on him. When she gets these evil powers, she is currently running she's running a meteorite store, a store that sells meteorites and rocks, and because she's a geologist. And literally, so there is a store in Pittsburgh that sells meteorites and rocks. That's what they do. This is a thing that exists, right? People collect those things. We filmed the entire scene where she turns into Kali Yuga and then battles two of the heroines inside that meteorite store. It's called Geology. That's the name of the store. And, then she transforms and she leaves the store and blows it up from the outside. Of course, not really, but that's what we do with CGI. So yeah, she's just like an evil geologist, who wants to take revenge on the whole city and blow up all the buildings. And yeah, we have her do a lot of that kind of stuff. It's really fun. And like I said, the first actress, Anna, who played her, did an amazing job. So I can't wait to find someone to play her. Yeah. Obviously, because of her background and her name, she's got to be South Asian, some sort of South Asian, nothing specific. And that's all. But, we have to find, there are tens of thousands of South Asian students at the 3 or 4 biggest universities here. And, they tend to be here for 4 or 5 years and then leave. So just how it is. So, yeah, but yeah, that was an amazing character. I urge people to check out episode 15 and see what Kali Yuga is up to as she destroys her own store. out of spite and revenge.
Oh wow! Yeah,
fun stories, right? Okay.
Yeah, this is awesome. Like what you've done. It's sitting there and actually making like whole episodes, and then also bringing out the book and everything.
Right.
Like you don't see too many people really trying to attempt that.
Well, there are very few, if no people, that start out with a TV show and go backwards to a comic book, especially DIY.
Yeah.
FemForce, went the other way, right? They started with the comics and started making movies. Same thing with George Perez, like I said, and almost anybody else who's done this. So, yeah. I'm as dedicated to the comics, and so are our artists, Wayne Brown and Benjamin Zeus Barnett and Jason Wright and Marcel Walker. I'm as dedicated to creating the comics as I am to the TV shows. The TV shows take I don't know 4 to 5 months a piece to make. That's why the customs are easier to churn out for the time being. And the comic books also take 6 to 7 months to make. People have lives. This is not. None of this is our real jobs, right?
Right.
I pay my artists and stuff, but none of this is our real jobs. So
Yeah.
we've got to fit all this in between whatever else we do. Working at a telemarketing firm, or bouncing at a bar, or teaching Sunday school kids, which is 3 things that we do. Some of us, that is, yeah.
Yeah.
Only Jason really, has a full-time art job. He's still, and like I said, if you're getting Starlight Cats, which is now in fulfillment, right, you will see, from what Jason told me, 17 pages were not colored by the listed colorist. I think her name is Corinne Chen or something like that.
Mhm.
But were actually colored by Jason, who's worked with Shane before on Metal Men. So
Okay.
I can't wait to see the fulfilled book and how Starlight Cats looks, and hopefully to back more stuff from 9 Lives Comics.
Yeah, I haven't read any of the Metal Men that they worked on. I'm a
The
Metal
Metal
Men
Men,
fan,
yeah.
but I've never read the series that they worked on.
Well, that's the recent one from this past year. Yeah, it's just a 12-issue maxi series, and
Okay.
it was written by Dan DiDio, which might be the last thing he does for DC or will do.
Mm.
And Shane
Wow.
Shane drew it, and Jason colored it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And my favorite, because I'm partial to the heroines, my favorite issue is Tina's story. So you get to see some of the background and origin of Platinum, who's known as Tina for short.
Yeah.
And it's really fun,
Yeah. I had the old Metal Men books, a couple issues and stuff. The older ones that felt
And I
more
remember
campy
reading
and
those in the
stuff.
70s and 80s. Sure,
Yeah, those were good stuff.
I mean, Dr. Magnum, I guess, in his own way, is still as weird as he ever was. I mean, he created a bunch of robot characters and then basically controlled them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they were kind of his slaves a little bit. I don't know. It's
Reminds me of that old Superman episode from Max Fleischer, when you had like a Tesla looking character that could control thief robots that would fly like planes and stuff like that. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah, that's interesting. In fact, our second issue of our comic book has a flying evil robot scenario where 2 of the flying heroines fight evil robots in the sky, and we were inspired to do that by the fight scene from Inspector Gadget, which was filmed downtown here when it was made. And yeah, you get to see the various buildings and how they get slightly destroyed by the fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the real thing is like, could a whole bunch of superheroes or heroines, whatever, could they exist for very long, destroying local property and not get on the bad side of the public and the government and the cops? No matter how much they initially get endorsed, right?
Right.
If they don't have a good track record of actually stopping the villains, keeping them in jail, and not destroying a whole bunch of stuff, eventually the public might turn against them or the mayor, and so that's kind of the premise of Heroineburgh, because the Black Faction, which is the group of evil supervillains that Drake and Vaporia lead, they're not so much going into battle like the Injustice League or whatever, going directly against superheroes. Instead, they harass from behind the scenes and make things look very difficult and troubling for the heroines, so that they lose the confidence of the government and the people. And so that's going to be very interesting when we resolve the finale for episode for our 23rd episode, which is actually episode 21, because 2 of them are 2-parters. But when we get to the official episode 21, we're going to find that there might be some consequences. There are going to be lots of consequences to the heroine's inability to keep all the villains under control and their frustrations thereof. So, yeah, there could be tables could be turned, etc. And yeah, I like. I mean, I don't like necessarily scenarios where villains rule the world and kill everybody, but it's nice to have table turning scenarios where there's there's peril and there's danger and there's
Yeah.
setbacks, right? You can't have
Yeah.
everybody just be a Mary Sue all the time and always win.
Yeah.
So yeah, like for example, Poderosa discovers her weakness in episode 19, and you thought before she didn't have one, but so yeah, everybody's got to have like kind of an Achilles heel or a
Mhm.
setback to grow to develop their story arc and their character, right?
All right.
Mhm.
Oh, Lola, you joined us right when we're getting ready to wrap her up.
Yeah, we're getting close to 2 hours.
Yeah.
And let's use this to remind everybody.
Yeah.
Please sub like.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been going on now for a while. I think we're gonna start to wrap her up.
Yeah, we should.
I'm sure Heroineburgh has better things to do than sit here and gab.
And where can people find you?
Where can people find us in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania? No. Yeah, if you don't want to walk down to my house in Pittsburgh, you can look for heroineburgh.com, HEROINEBURGH. And that has the ability to download pay episodes and to order comic books either online or by going to your local store on the lists of the shops. And for our socials, we do have our Facebook, we have our Twitter, we have our YouTube channel, which is very active. We constantly do uploads, and they are just dozens and dozens of clips of the characters and trailers, Comic-Con appearances. We never played a trailer over this whole thing. And we also have a DeviantArt. I'm not giving up on that yet. We have some fans that follow us there. So, cosplayers are on DeviantArt, so we're on there too. We created original costumes and original scenarios. So, we're filmmakers, right? So it's a creative endeavor. So yeah. So once again, heroineburgh.com, Facebook, Twitter, DeviantArt, and YouTube.
Awesome. Okay, Mr. Sim, you gonna promote yourself?
Yeah. You can find me on everywhere under Simon Sympathy, The Artist Sim, and Inkslayer. And on this channel, in my channel. No. And you, Chris, where can we find you?
Nowhere. I'm leaving. Going on. You can find me as Sugar Chris on the Twitter, and that's it. No, I'm also on Facebook if you want to find me as Chris Evans, but there's a lot of Chris Evanses. You'll be there for a while. And of course, on here as Sugar Chris. And please do subscribe if you're new. We're trying to get to that 1,000 subs to make Pale Rider happy.
Yeah, so you can join that red dress run that got canceled, sadly.
Yep, sadly.
Sadly.
Let's see. Let me see.
There's always next year.
Find a trailer to end us on here.
Yeah, you can trailer us to go out. I sent you the links for 18 and 19, and also the trailer for comic book number 2, where Vendetta explains where you can get it.
Okay.
So any of those is fine.
Alrighty. Let me just
Maybe
bring
the
it up
Vendetta one would be good actually, because she tells you get to see Vendetta talking. But in any case.
Okay, here's the episode 19 one.
Oh, okay. Well, that'll work.
Okay.
That's the newest one, parts 1 and 2.
All right, then yeah, we'll show that one then since it's the newest one.
Okay, and it shows some of the characters too.
Awesome. All
And
right.
while we set that up and we started, later, everyone.
Okay, bring that up.
Have a good day.
Okay. Bonsoir.
Hope you didn't forget to share the audio.
Oh, Sim,
I know, right?
you're making me second guess myself, so I got to do it again. There.
All you have to do is look at the image if you saw volume or not.
I'm not paying attention. Good. I'm playing it. Leave me alone, Sim.
She's living in Heroineburgh. Never mind what you heard. Super Superheroine is the word. She's living fantastic dreams. She's shooting out laser beams, taking over computer screens. She puts her costume on, and she's feeling super strong. When deadly threats attack, she'll be ready to strike back. She's living in Heroineburgh.